Hello guys, welcome to Online Web Tutor. I am Sanjay. We are learning Laravel 8 framework tutorial. This is our partner 48. Inside this video, we will see all about one-to-many relationship. In the last video, we had started the concept of eloquent relationship and also completed all about one-to-one and inverse of one-to-one relationship. Now inside this video, we will see all about one-to-many as well as inverse of one-to-many relationship. To understand the concept of one-to-many relationship, if I back to database, now inside this database we have a students table. Inside this students table we have multiple entries of students. We have another table inside this database called courses. And inside this courses table, we are storing all the data, let's say enrolled courses of every student. So for now, inside this courses table, we have an entry of a student ID called 3, 500 and 509. Inside this courses table, we have the columns as ID, student ID, this is the course name and course amount. So from these two tables, we understand that the third number ID has enrolled two courses of the system. Let's say the third number ID means student ID is reading all about the WordPress course as well as PHP course. And also 509 ID is also reading two books or enrolled two courses called Internet and Node.js. So from this table, we would get the idea that is a single student has multiple courses inside this courses table. So this is some kind of one means one student and many courses. It means one-to-many relationship. Now apart from this example like student course, also we can understand by the help of user and post. Let's say that we have a blogging website. Inside that blogging website we have multiple user roles. Let's say user role 1, user role 2, user role 3 and so on. So each user of the system can post multiple posts. So these are the concept of one-to-many relationship. Just think about inverse of one-to-many. So also we can say that the courses table also related with students table. It means multiple IDs of this courses table is also associated with a single row of this student table. For this first number ID of this courses table is associated with student ID equals 3, it means with this row. If we go and find all about this courses ID 2, this ID is also associated with student ID 3 of this table. So let's see in action that how can we implement all about one-to-many and inverse of one-to-many relationship. So for that, in the last video we had discussed that we need to go inside model and create method. And we need to use that method as a property inside controller. Now we are here inside this student model. So let's make one line comment that is one-to-many relationship. Let's say public function and we want to get, let's say, courses, and inside this return, let's say this model means this is referring to this student model. So this here we have the method called has many. Keep in mind, in the last video for one-to-one relationship we had used called has one. Now this time we have many courses, so we need to use called has many. And this is going to associate with our, let's say, courses table. So just find about our courses models we don't have. So what we have to do, simply we need to go inside terminal and first we need to create a model which is going to associate it with our courses table. So let's say PHP artisan, let's say make model, and we are going to create a course model. Pressing enter, model created successfully. Let's start our development server. Started. Back to editor. reload this directory structure. Now inside this models, we have a course model which is going to associate with this courses table. Back to a student model. So has many, we are going to use our course model. So here it's a class. So as we can see that student model is associated with the relationship called many with the courses model. Now if I back to controller, let's see that how can we use. So we are going to use the same method called list users what we have used inside last video. So if I make comment of this line, let's say that return, if I list, let's say for the first time, all the students from our table. So save these changes, go and reload this page. So first we need to type, let's say, users. Now inside this route, we are getting all about the students what we have inside our database table. Now this time we want to get, let's say, this third number ID, what courses this ID has enrolled. We want a list. So for that, back to editor. If I type, let's return student, let's say find third number ID, and we want all the courses. So keep in mind the method we have created called courses. So copy the method name, go and pasting it here. So simply this code will do that. It is going to find all the courses from courses table because it is associated with one-to-many of this third number ID, means third number student ID. So if we save, go and reload this page. Now as we can see that our third number ID means student ID is associated with two rows of courses table. First is with our WordPress and second with PHP. Again if you go here and if we type 500, go inside this courses table, we have a single entry. So if we reload, we are getting a single row that is Laravel 8. Again if we go and change it to call 509, which is associated with two rows of this courses table called internet and node.js. And here as we can see that we are getting two different rows. But in case, let's say that we are going to pass this first number ID which does not exist inside this table. As we can see, the table ID has started from ID equals to 3, but in this case we will get some error. What actually error we got in the last video as well, trying to get property courses of non-object. But if we back to editor, let's say that we are going to pass this 100 number ID, go and reload this page, and as we can see that this time we are getting an empty array which indicates that 100 number ID exists inside this students table, but that student has no courses enrolled inside this courses table. So this is kind of straightforward all about one-to-many relationship. How can we implement inverse? Back to courses model. Let's say that public function, we want to get a student. Let's return this. Again we have the same method called belongsTo. Now inside this parenthesis we need to pass our student model, which is a class. So while going through this method, we can say that each courses is associated, or let's say belongs to, a student model or for a students table. So to use this relationship, this is one-to-many inverse. One-to-many, let's say inverse. Back to student controller. First we need to import our model. So let's say use course model. Back to list users method. In the first step, we are going to list all the courses what we have inside our database table. So return, let's say course, and we are going to use all method. Save all these changes, go and reload this page. So we have one number ID, two number IDs, so on up to 5 number ID, total 5 rows inside our table. Let's say that we want to get the student data whose course ID equals to 1. So course ID 1 has a student ID equals to 3, and this student ID has some data inside this students table. So how can we find? Back here, we are going to use inverse one-to-many relationship. So let's return, in this case, course. Let's find, we need to pass our course ID equals to 1, and we need to use as a property the method what we have created. Here we have a student, and here as well we have a student. So save this change, go and reload this page, and this is the student like what we have inside this first means third number ID, which has enrolled 2 different courses. Again, if we go and let's say our second number ID, go and reload this page, again we are getting the same user because this user has enrolled 2 courses whose branch ID equals to 1 and 2. Now if we pass, let's say branch ID equals to 3, save this change, go and reload this page. Now we are getting this time a different data. So successfully guys, inside this video we have completed one-to-many relationship as well as inverse of one-to-many relationship. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.